Hello everybody and welcome to Math Help with Miss McCarthy. Thank you so much for stopping by. These videos are actually powered by teachers and parents and adults who work with children. You may have a math question that has you stumped, and you can submit your questions at mccarthymathacademy.com/mathhelp. Today we have a 5th grade question involving division with decimals. I love it. But before we get to that, I just want to thank you for hitting that like button, for subscribing to this channel so you're the first to know when I release new videos, or maybe you are sharing these videos with somebody else. When you like, share, and subscribe, it really does help me to continue to provide free content on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for doing that. All right, let's go ahead and get to today's question and let me teach you. Today's question comes from Adeline in Orlando, Florida. Another question from Orlando, Florida this week. Awesome. So you can see here that we are actually dividing with decimals, and I know that this can seem very overwhelming at the 5th grade level, and hopefully I can help to simplify all of that today, okay? Especially if it's been a while since you have divided with decimals. Okay, so we have a division equation here, and we're trying to figure out what the quotient is. So let's talk about some vocabulary. The answer to a division problem is called the quotient. The first number is known as our dividend, and this is the total. Okay, it's the total amount, and we are dividing it by the divisor. And here's how we read this question. It would be 9 and 84 hundredths divided by 12 hundredths equals what? Now, division with decimals is very similar to division with whole numbers, but the decimal does add a little bit of extra work into it, okay? So let me show you. Here's how we would set it up. It would be 12 hundredths as our divisor outside, and then 9 and 84 hundredths inside. So right now, let's pay attention to our divisor. It's a lot easier to divide when you're working with whole numbers. That means not a decimal. Right now we have a decimal though. But the thing is, if we multiplied 12 hundredths by 100, we would actually have a whole number of 12. And essentially what we're doing when we're multiplying by 100 is just moving the decimal point right there. Okay, so we're out with the old one, in with the new decimal, and we would now have 12 as our divisor. You know what? I totally forgot to mention that a lot of 5th grade work in Florida with division with decimals, you're working with area models too to show what's happening with division with decimals with models, and I'll show you some more videos that are similar to that in just a minute. This one, I do want to focus on the standard algorithm because I look at it as in 5th grade and in 6th grade and beyond, they're going to have to eventually get to that standard algorithm. So once they understand what's happening with division of decimals, move them to this kind of standard algorithm that I'm teaching right now. Let's recap real quick. We had 12 hundredths as a divisor. We wanted to turn that into a whole number. So we moved our decimal 2 places, which essentially meant that we were multiplying by 100. So now we have a divisor of 12. But we can't just put 9 and 84 hundredths over there because then it's going to mess up our problem. We've increased 12 hundredths and made it 100 times greater. We need to do that same thing to our dividend. So let's also increase it by 100 by moving it 1, 2 decimal places. So out with the old one, with the old decimal, in with the new decimal. And now we would have 984. And I'm going to go ahead and just put my decimal right there and bring it up to the rooftop. Cool. Now it's like we're dividing with whole numbers. So the steps that I teach are to find how many or count by. It's like our division step. Then we multiply, subtract, bring down the digit, and repeat. Okay, I'll just put my little process steps right there. So we're saying with the first step, how many 12s does it take to get to 9? If we were to count by 12s, how many 12s would it take? 12. So 112 is already too big, so it would take 0 to get to 9. Let's move it and extend it to 98. If we counted by 12s, we could get really close to 98 because 12 times 8 equals 96, which is really close. So I'm going to go ahead and put 8 times, and now I'm on my multiplication step. Now we subtract. So 8 minus 6 is 2, and 9 minus 9 is 0. Now I'm at the bring down step. So I bring down my next digit, which is 4, and we repeat that. How many times does our divisor 12 go into 24? If we count by 12s, that would be 12, 24, 2 times. So 12 times 2 equals 24 exactly, which is helpful. So right above my 4, I'm going to put 2. 2 times 12 is 24. That was the multiplication step. Let's subtract. And 24 minus 24 is 0. That is awesome. So our quotient would be 82 with the decimal point, but really just 82 wholes. So 9 and 84 hundredths divided by 12 hundredths equals 82. Let's go ahead and check this using the inverse operation of multiplication. So I'm just going to work my way backwards to check it. So if I have 82 times 12 hundredths, when we're multiplying with decimals, we kind of ignore the decimal, but we'll put it in at the end. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 8 is 16. Then I cross out, erase any regroupies up there, but I don't have any, and place a 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 8 is 8. And when I add those up, 4, 8, and 9, and now I need to work with my decimal. So here is my decimal right there, and I have 2 digits behind the decimal, which means that my answer, when I'm multiplying, needs to also have 2 digits behind the decimal too. Okay, so that checks out. As I was working this out, I just wanted to point out one more thing here, and that is that when we're dividing, a lot of times students forget to put a 0 or even an X right there in the spot. Like when we said, can 12 go into 9? It's really important that we say, no, it can go into it 0 times, and then we move to the next spot up there, because that really helps when we're lining up our decimal, because sometimes we do have answers behind the decimal up there, and we need to make sure that we're locking in those positions. So Adeline, I hope that this was helpful for you and for everybody else watching this. And if you're thinking, wow, I could really use some more practice, or my children or students could really use some more practice, I want to encourage you to check out one of the links above. If you're a teacher, go to the one that says /teacher. If you're a parent, go to the one that says /family, because I do have more videos inside of my members area. And let me show you. Okay, so right now I'm inside of the bronze area of the teachers membership. Teachers, your membership is organized by benchmark for Florida's best standards. The family edition is organized by unit, but you have the same episodes here. So right now I'm in the one that's about multiplication and division with decimals. And this is more about exploring, like I mentioned, with the models, right? So here we have a exploring division with decimals video with the printable guide. And here's a little peek of that. So you can see we have 10 divided by 5/10 and showing why that is. We had 10 wholes and we're dividing each one by 5/10 to get a total of 20 different sections, okay? There's also a video that says using estimation to divide numbers with decimals. The gold plan for teachers has access to McCarthy Math 155, and parents, you can also sign up for this in addition to the family edition. If I go to 5th grade, we're looking for operations with decimals where we are multiplying and dividing with decimals. You can see here there's a lot more practice, very similar to what we did in this video. Let me show you. Okay, so you can see here we're shifting the divisor to whole numbers, and then we're following all the steps that we talked about today. I would definitely suggest that if you are a teacher that you go with the gold plan, because you do have access to more videos like this. We have 1, 2, 3 videos straight up with practice with dividing with decimals. And if you're a parent, you can also sign up for an additional McCarthy Math 155 access. If you need help with doing any of that, you can let me know. That's it for today's episode of Math Help with Miss McCarthy, and I look forward to seeing you really soon.